It's one of my favorite stories of the day, actually. A guy walks into a bank. He's got a gun, and cops say a plan to rob the place, but he picked the wrong bank at the wrong time. The suspect wasn't figuring he'd run across a U.S. Army soldier with 4 deployments under his belt. And when the gunman starts waving his weapon in the general direction of the soldier and his young children, well, that soldier decided it was time to protect and defend. Joining us from Sarasota, Florida, the man now hailed as a hero, Army Staff Sergeant Eddie Peoples. Eddie, you were home on deployment. Does that mean you're, what, just in Iraq a few days earlier, coming back to Sarasota for a little vacation, a little R&R?
No, John. I came from Vicenza, Italy, 386 MCT.
But you've been to Iraq plenty of times.
Yes, I've been there plenty of times. I've been there 3 times, John.
So, all right, so you're in the bank with your kids. How did you know the robbery was underway?
John, it was a surreal moment. I was standing at the counter, and I walked back to my children. They were sitting in some chairs. When the gunman came in, he started, screaming demands, and I turned around, and no one believed it was real. Even my children, they actually drew attention to themselves because they started giggling. Oops. So once he started displaying the gun and everything, I grabbed my children and hid them up under a chair, and then moved something else in front of them to keep in case he started shooting the trajectory from hitting them. Yeah. And that's when we knew it was for real. And
he actually got a duffel bag full of money and got out of the bank. Now, we have up on screen right now a picture of the white rental van you were driving. You chased the guy out of the bank, boxed him in his Honda, right?
Yes, I try to teach my children, to do what's right. And I just could not look at my children later on and know that guy walked out of there and Daddy didn't do anything to him. So that was a lot of money he had. That was a lot of money. So.
Yeah. We got some shots of you with your children, but there's a very special shot I want to save for our audience, because this guy gets out of his Honda, points the gun at you, and you said what?
Well, he actually tried to get into the van with me, and the door wouldn't open for him. So at that point, I put it in park, got out of the van. He pointed the gun directly at my forehead. I did a little move we learned in the military to take it away from him, took it away from him, grabbed him behind the neck and put him to the ground.
Yeah, now.
And somehow, I don't know how, John, but somehow I came up with a bag of money. There was money blowing everywhere. And so I looked really guilty, though, because the deputy behind me, they showed up pretty fast. The deputy behind me was like, "Get on the ground."
There's our perpetrator.
And I'm holding the gun and the money. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't have my vest on today.
There's our alleged perpetrator, Matthew Rogers, 34 years old. But I just want to show our viewers this photo that you sent us. It's you in Iraq. Now, if you've got some experience with weaponry, obviously. If I ran across you telling me to drop the weapon, I think, Sergeant, I think I'd drop the weapon. This guy, this guy picked the wrong dude.
It was pretty bad. Later on, the deputies told me that he voided his bowels. So I went straight to battle mode with him, so it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're making us proud. Did anybody, I know that, listen, the cops always tell you, if there's a gun, a bank robbery, don't try to be a hero. Did you get any of that from any of the folks on the scene?
No. All the deputies, they came up and they hugged me and everything. And everyone in the bank, I walked back in. Every time I go on a deployment, I tell my boys to put it in perspective for them that I'm going to fight the bad men. So when I came back in the bank, my oldest son, he came and he said, "Daddy, did you get that bad man?" And I said, "Yes, son, I got him." And everyone in the bank started clapping. So everyone was happy.
I know you've been awarded medals for your service in Iraq, and I wish the Army could give you one for this incident. I don't imagine they can, but we'll submit your name to the Pentagon anyway.